Now let's see how we can get all open games, so not games related to one user, but all open games created by any user. So let's go here, and to get this information about open games, we can see that our partition key cannot help us at all. More or less, it is not possible that the sort key will help us either. But now what we want is to search on this column, on GSI status. And the problem is that we are not able to do it. The idea is to search for game open and return all items that have game open for that GSI status, but it is not possible. In order to do that, we must create something called a global secondary index. And that's the reason why I called this GSI status, even though in the last video we used this property like a local secondary index. Yeah, it is a little confusing, but I wanted it this way because now we will use this as a global secondary index. Let's go to our table tic-tac-toe-DB, click on Indexes, and here in the section about Global Secondary Index, we can see that we have the option to create an index. Here in Local Secondary Index, we don't have that option, so it is only allowed when we first create the database. But for Global Secondary Index, let's click Create Index. And what do we want to have? For partition key, let's use GSI status. As we saw, we want this property. GSI status is a string. For sort key, even though it is optional, let's use points. It can be useful later, you will see, and of course, points will be a number. For index name, let's call it, for example, GSI. Other than that, we can just copy from base table, and as you can see, there is some estimated read-write capacity cost, so it is not a good idea to have unlimited global secondary indexes. It is also not a good idea for local secondary indexes, but again, you don't have to worry because you will not spend more than the free tier, so you can ignore this and create the index. You can see it can take some time. This took way more than I expected, but now we have a global secondary index. Let's explore our table items. Click on Query, and now if you don't see it, just refresh your page. In the index, we now have GSI status, and for partition key, it is now possible to write GSI status. And for GSI status, like we discussed, we want to search for game open. Game open, and points like a sort key is not important for us now. Later, we will see why points are useful, but for now, it is not important. And we have one open game created by James. Let's create this with Python. Go to our client, and here we want to add an additional method query by global secondary index, and we want a global secondary index value. And again, I will just copy it from here. We want to query our DynamoDB client on the table, but now the index name is GSI status, like we saw here when we clicked GSI status. The key condition expression is checking that property GSI status, and we want to search if it is equal to our GSI value. Return all items. In order to get open games, we need to go to the game class and add a method getOpenGames. And because these are open games, it is just about getting the objects of that game. It will be a class method. So we need to have class again. It will be similar to this, so from our DB client, we don't query by partition key and sort key, but by global secondary index, and we want to search for game open. Here we don't need to write game. It is enough to write class because we are inside the game class. So it is class or dot from item for item and items. Really the same line of code. So just loop over all items and convert them to game objects. So this is getOpenGames. Again, go to the app and call getOpenGames. For that it is, let's say game.getOpenGames.
Save this to variable open games and print them and run the application.